Hello everybody! Welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And in today's episode, we're going to look at another WattCycle battery. Now, stick with me because this one's going to be really interesting. And I just picked this up at the post office, so we're going to get it open and see what's inside. Here we go. It does look like the box took a little bit of beating in transit. But let's see what we got inside. Alright, so first of all, right on top, we have the manual. And look what it says. Bluetooth app user manual. Yes, this is the battery I've been waiting for with Bluetooth. So, let's see how the inside looks. They really pack these things well, so I don't think there'll be any damage to the battery. Look at the size of that styrofoam. Let me raise this up a little bit if I can, so you can see what's coming out of the box. Anyway, yeah, this is a good, I'd say 1.25 inch thick foam, styrofoam. It's not the hard styrofoam, it's the soft styrofoam. But yeah, that's a good pack. All right, next we have a plastic bag with a battery in it. And lastly, we have a pack with 4 bolts and 2 protective caps. Now, I love the batteries that do this. Okay, you can see 2 different lengths of screws here. And these are metric 8mm screws. But you can see one is a little bit longer. The bottom one's longer than the top one by, a good 1/4 inch. Or let's say 8mm. But that's because sometimes you want to add extra wires to the battery and you need a longer screw for that because of the ring terminals like those over there on the inverter. Now, if I put just one wire on each terminal, that's fine. But if I had to add other wires to it, 2 or 3 different wires to it, there wouldn't be any room for it. All right, so this is called the mini battery. And I will bring it over there into view for you. And we'll get it out of the bag. And there we go. So, that's a pretty cool looking little battery, isn't it? I think so. And it says smart. This is the smart edition. Now this is still a 12 volt, 100 amp hour. Okay. So even though it's a smaller battery, it still has the nominal voltage of 12.8 volts. So there's 1280 or 1280 watt hours involved in this little battery. All right, and the little strap on here is also removable. You can just bring it out through there and get rid of it so it's not in the way. And this is a nice little compact battery. Very nice. It's smaller than the other 100 amp hour battery that I've gotten from them. And I'll be showing you that later on in this video when I put it in the van alongside the other one and remove the 200 amp hour battery out of the van. This is going to be a partner to the other 100 amp hour battery I have in there. And since it's Bluetooth, I will be able to remove the shunt monitor from the van so that when we get into the really deep freezes here in the winter, I'll be safe. So, with all of that, we are going to get this thing ready to put a charge on it. But before we do that, let me get a little closer here. And I have my voltmeter or my multimeter here. We'll turn this on. And let's see if I can make sure that's in. I love this little voltmeter or multimeter because you see it says auto on there, right there. So you don't have to worry about making settings for checking voltages or amps or anything like that. It sets itself up when you make the connection with the probes. It determines what you're checking, and it sets itself to read those. So we're going to go here, positive and negative, and we got 13.12 volts in the battery, which is perfect for shipping. Okay, so we know that the battery is only about 50% or so of its complete charge. So we're going to get the charger on it, and I will be using the LiFePO4 battery charger from WattCycle. This is a great little charger. If you're going to get some 12-volt batteries, you definitely want to get one of these chargers too. Make sure you add that to your order, because you do have to charge your batteries up to 100% before you can use them, right? We all know that. So let's get this thing going for a charge. Now, on this charger, it comes with ring terminals on the battery connection side. I added these alligator clips on here to make it easier to work with, but I still have to add the bolts to here to be able to connect onto the bolts. So let me get those opened up here. And there we go. We'll get the two shorter bolts out and screw those in. Now, remember, if you're using ring terminals on here, you're going to want to torque these down pretty good, because loose connections on any battery sets up high resistance, and it's not good for the system. So I don't have to torque them any tighter than with fingers on this setup, because we're just going to do the charge, right? So I'm going to connect on the positive side here and on the negative side there, and we have the wiring connected. Now I've got my cord here ready to go into the back of the charger. And we have a green light here, and that'll go to red, and that means it's in charging. So it has started charging. So instead of standing here watching it charge, what I am going to do is I have my computer set up here with the let me close all of this junk for updates. All right, and we're going to start the timer on this. And there we go. We have the timer running, so we can see how long it actually takes to charge the battery when you receive it new. So instead of standing here watching the timer go and watching the charger go, there's nothing to see. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll get back to it when it's fully charged. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and we've got a full charge on the battery, green light, and the total time, 2 hours, 56 minutes. Okay, don't worry about the 0.74. That was the time it took from me to switch from the battery to turn the clock on. So 2 hours and 56 minutes from 50% charge to 100% charge on this battery. All right, while I'm here, I'm going to show you the size of this battery. Okay, so we are, including the bolts, 9 inches tall. We are 9 inches wide. And we are come on. 5 3/4 wide, deep. Okay, so that's a pretty small battery, isn't it? Yes, it is. But it's a powerful little battery. So I'm going to pause the video again and disconnect everything here. And we'll add this onto the first part of the video. And we'll get ready for the next part. All right, everybody, I'm back, and the battery is fully charged, as you can see by the green light on the charger. And I've got my kilowatt meter plugged in here, and the plug that's plugged in here is going to that radiator right there. This is an oil-filled electric radiator that'll run either 300 watts, 900 watts, or 1500 watts combined. I'm going to be running it on the 600 watt setting on this test to see how much it draws, how strong that battery actually is, how good that battery actually is. I have faith because I've dealt with WattCycle for a while now, and I haven't found anything with their batteries or their charger or anything like that that isn't exactly as they claim it to be. All right, I do want to make a point at this part of the video that I did install the app. Now, installing the app, when you go by the app user manual here, they have these two little code systems here. The what do you call those things? The oh, whatever. That's not important what you call those, right? Anyway, it says scan the code for Android, and that's what I would scan. And when I did, it went to an app for a Chinese website store of some kind, and it was all in Chinese, so I didn't understand what it said. So I uninstalled that, and instead I went to the Android store, and I searched BMS Meta on Google Play, right there, and I installed it through the app on my phone, and it's working fine that way. So there's still some learning to do on all of the app settings and that stuff, but I'm learning as I go along. So I'm going to get this thing going on this test, the duration test, to see how long this thing will run 600 watts. Now, considering we're using a 12 volt 100 amp hour battery, remember that's 12.8 volts nominal voltage. So we multiply volts times amps, and that gives us our watts. And because it's volts times amp hours, that'll give us watt hours. So the watt hours would be 12.8 times 100, or 1280 watt hours. So we're going to be able to run 1,280 watts for an hour. Now, considering we're going to be running only 600 watts on this, give or take a little bit, because there will be a residual draw on the inverter itself, and it sounds like my fan is going out on this one also, as it did on my other one. So it looks like it might be time for me to end up buying a new inverter. But we'll see if we can get through this test with this one and see how it goes. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is unplug the charger. So that's no longer part of the test. And we're going to disconnect the terminals for the charger because we no longer need those. And we'll get the wire out of the way so we can see the gauges on the inverter. And I also have my trusty laptop set up over here with a timer on it, so we can see what kind of time we get out of running this radiator, this oil-filled radiator at 600 watts. And because it's a chilly day out, this actually works great for me because this thing's going to warm this room up for me. And this is the chilliest room in the cabin. Now, remember that this thing has a thermostat on it, and I have the thermostat set high, so it shouldn't shut off. It'll keep running at the 600 watts through the whole test. So I'm not sure if I can record the drop in watts with the Bluetooth app, but I'll see if I can do that while this thing is running. And if I can, I'll be posting pictures of those when I edit this video, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's get with this real-time test at G-Bear's Off-Grid Ways of the WattCycle 12-volt 100 amp hour smart mini battery. And I think I'm going to really like this thing, so let's get going on it. All right, first of all, turn on the inverter. All right, next we're going to switch over to watts. We've got 120.8 volts going in, so now we got 0 on the watts. Next, we turn on the 600 watt switch on the radiator, and you can see it coming up right there. So we're at 582, 579, 582, 592, 605. So it balances out to around 600 watts is what the draw is. So now we're going to come over here and get the timer started. All right, the timer is on its way. So instead of standing here and watching that happen, we're going to pause the video and I'll get back to you when the test is done. And like I said, it'd probably be a couple hours, but remember, we also have a draw on coming from the inverter itself. So it looks like we're pulling probably 30 amps between the two. That's pretty high. But as you can see, we're in the 600 watt range here, 580, 590, 600. It's going in and out because it's still warming up. But we'll see how long that goes. All right, everybody, stick with me. I'll be back. All right, everybody, the test is over. And there's the time, the total time that I ran that. Now, I got some notes here that I took while it was all happening. So I was running an average draw on this system of 664 watts at 52.6 amps. Okay. Now, at 1280 watt hours available, I did the math, and my expected runtime should have been 1.93 hours, or 1 hour and 56 minutes. As you can see, I went almost 2 minutes over that. 2 minutes over that would be about 12 amp hours. So I got 112 amp hours out of that 100 amp hour battery. That's outstanding. That is really, really good. All right, now I've got everything shut down here now because You'll see that I'm going to post a screenshot of the app that was running on this Bluetooth app, and it'll show you that I was at 0% on the battery. It's done. There's nothing left in it. So let's do something here right now while you guys are here. I want to show you that we're going to hook the battery cables back up. And remember, I just killed this battery. Well, let's say killed is a bad word. I just drained this battery down to 0%, as you'll see, as you just saw in the app I just posted, or the picture of the app I just posted. So let's see if this thing is going to start up and charge. And when I plug the charger in, we'll get a green light, and it should change to red if it's charging. Here we go. Okay, we got a green light. Oh, we got a red light, and it is charging. Oh, we went to a green light again. It didn't charge. It's flashing on and off with the green to red. Okay. Well, I'm going to check the app and see what it's saying, but it looks like it won't charge because the battery is too dead. So I'm going to have to jump start this battery, and if I do, I'll add on to this video. Stand by. Okay, everybody. Well, what it was I didn't have a good connection on the negative clip on the battery charger wire. As you can see, it's charging right now. So there was nothing I had to do. I didn't have to jump start it. Apparently there was still enough power left in the battery itself for the charger to recognize that it needed to charge the battery. So you see we've got a red light. We're doing just fine on that. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to note the time here. I've got 1:32 p.m. on my clock. I'm not going to run the timer because I've already started this and it's been running for at least a minute. But I'm going to see how long it takes to charge this battery back up from dead. And I'll leave that in the comments. Thanks for joining me, everybody. There'll be a follow-up video coming on this battery and coming quite soon. I'm going to be replacing the 200 amp hour WattCycle battery that I have in my van right now, that is tied in parallel with a 100 amp hour battery. So I'm going to put this one with the 100 amp hour battery and have two of the same values running, a 12 volt 100 amp hours. Two of them will give me 200 amp hours instead of a 100 and a 200 running. So I know it's going to lower my amp hours, but I want to see how well that works in there. So there will be a follow-up video on this. I want to thank you all for joining me. I'll leave some links in the description for where you can buy these batteries and discounts and that kind of stuff. And I hope you all enjoy these batteries as much as I do. I'm really been super impressed from the get-go with WattCycle batteries, what they can do and what they have done for me. My high recommendation is, if you want to buy a good LiFePO4 battery that's proven itself over and over again, go to WattCycle.com. And there should be some special discounts in my video description below also, just for my followers, those people who watch my videos. You get special stuff, right? I want to thank WattCycle for that. This is G Bear signing off.